So good evening, everybody, and welcome to this I Prepare web meeting. My name is Oreste Gentilini, and I'd like to obviously welcome you and to introduce and to make a short outline of the meeting. Just well, first of all, just let me say that we're going to record this meeting. So if anybody is against this or disagree, just tell us. Otherwise, we will proceed. The aims of this meeting is basically to do an update of the I Prepare trial. I Prepare stands for, as you might see, International Prospective Registry on Prepectoral Breast Reconstruction. Obviously, we would like, if possible, to increase the network in order to get the trial up to speed as much as possible. It took a little bit longer, well, much longer than expected to get the trial started, but fortunately now the trial is up and running. And for those who already have the ethical committee approval and the administrative approval, this meeting can be considered as a site initiation visit. This is going to be the outline of this meeting. If I can have the next slide, please, Angelica. So we'll try to keep this meeting short, so we have to be finished by 7 p.m. I will do, as you can see, just a brief introduction, then I will leave the floor to Rosa Di Micco to make a presentation about the study, and then we will have a short presentation by our CRO named Aleph about the case report form. And then we will have a dedicated presentation by our friends from the Netherlands, a company named Brightfish, and they prepared a dedicated app for this study in order to evaluate quality of life of our patients. And hopefully in the end, we will have some 10-15 minutes to discuss, to get some questions, and hopefully to give some answers about the trial. So without any further details, delay, I will give the floor, the virtual floor to Rosa Di Micco, who, by the way, is our brand new vice chairman or chairwoman of UBreast Italy. And Rosa will present the outline of the I Prepare trial. Rosa, please.
Good evening, everybody. It's a great pleasure for me to be here presenting this study that I see being born around 5 years ago. And I'm really honored to be part of such a great steering committee with well-renowned researchers in breast cancer field coming from different specialties. We all know that the progressive de-escalation of breast cancer surgery has been evolved during the last 10 years, we could say. However, the mastectomy rates remain around 30 and 40%. We all know that breast reconstruction could be offered to our patient with different options, but of course, implant-based breast reconstruction at the moment is the most common method and the simplest one to restore the breast volume. In the last decade, prepectoral breast reconstruction has been proposed as an innovative reconstruction capable of restoring the volume of the breast in a simple way, just replacing the gland where it was removed. But several techniques could be performed, so different surgical procedures, different outcomes maybe, using biological meshes, using synthetic meshes, or using no mesh could be a different choice and preference for the surgeon. We know that the data on prepectoral breast reconstruction have been published. They show promising results, an acceptable complication rate. Maybe this technique could grant a natural-looking breast, but we know that different techniques could be performed. We can use a pocket involving enveloping the implant. That could be a synthetic mesh, or it could be a biological mesh, or in the last few years, we also place directly the implant underneath the mastectomy flap, maybe polyurethane foam-coated implants, for instance. The rationale of this study comes from this joint consensus in 2019. Vidya et al. Took together a group of UK, European, and USA breast and plastic surgeons, and they finally concluded that any preferred surgical technique should be applied with no specific indications for prepectoral breast reconstruction, but we need to audit results. So we know that this is a promising techniques, but the data are not sufficient to suggest specific indication and to suggest these reconstructive modalities for all breast reconstructions. So we took this suggestion to collect both early and late data on patient-reported outcomes, on complications, and we also took into account this Cochrane library reporting that the oncological outcomes of nipple-sparing mastectomy were not evaluated in prospective randomized trial. So having a prospective registry with data on prepectoral breast reconstruction and or on nipple and area-sparing mastectomy could be of great interest for breast and plastic surgeons. So the study aim, based on these premises, could you go on? Based on these premises, the EU Breast Study Group decided to initiate a prospective cohort study as an international project that aims at evaluating data on different surgical techniques of prepectoral breast reconstruction with and without radiation therapy. Which are the study details? The study is registered on clinicaltrials.gov. The PI is Professor Gentilini, and the study sponsor is UBreast Italy. This is an international prospective cohort study which will last 4 years. Of these 4 years, we intend to have 2 years for recruitment and 2 years for the follow-up. But we all know that we have started with a little bit of delay, so the end of 2025 could be not the real end of all of the entire recruitment. Our main aim is to reach the sample size that we will see soon. Okay, here the statistical considerations. The benchmark of this study was the paper by Shelley Potter, published on Lancet a few years ago, and reporting results of the IBRA trial. So here we saw that the complication rate was reported as a readmission rate, reoperation rate, infection rate, and implant loss rate. And the implant loss rate was of great interest for us because it's the most important complication. If we look at patients' quality of life, it represents the failure of the breast reconstruction. So we decided that this should have been our primary endpoint. So we accepted an implant loss rate as 9% or lower based on this literature, and we considered that 12% or greater will be regarded as an acceptably high. So finally, our sample size we estimated our sample size as 1,236 patients. The primary endpoint was the implant loss at 3 months, as Shelley did for her study. It was defined as the unplanned removal or loss of the implant as a result of infection or any other complication. As regards the secondary endpoints, of course, our interest was also for other kind of complications, so infection, readmission, and reoperation rates. We also were motivated to study the subgroup of patients where a different technique was applied. So according to the numbers we will try to perform a subgroup analysis. We were also interested in the quality of life, and as Professor Gentilini said before, we tried to make this aspect really simple for the patient, because we know that the patient's engagement in the clinical trial is increasing time by time, and our intention was to avoid that there was an overload of questionnaires for the patients. So our patients enrolled in the I PREPARE trial can fill in the questionnaire directly in their smartphone or tablet. This is a not mandatory part of the study, so if your patients refuse to download the app or to fill in the questionnaire, you can also register your patients and go for the primary endpoint. Other secondary endpoints were the early onset complication rate at the 3-month follow-up, seroma, hematoma, bleeding, skin flap or T-junction necrosis, and so on. Late onset complication at the 6, 12, and 24 months, further surgery at 24 months, and we also want to report the time to postoperative anti-cancer therapy, just to prove if this kind of breast reconstruction could in any way delay postoperative adjuvant treatment. Finally, we also have tertiary endpoints, provided that we will have funding available to prolong the follow-up until 5 years. In that case, we will look at further surgery after 24 months, local regional recurrence and survival, and potential development of seroma or implant-associated anaplastic T-cell lymphoma. As regards the eligibility criteria, in the inclusion criteria, we have female adult patients with breast cancer who signed an informed consent, of course, and who undergo mono or bilateral therapeutic mastectomy with prepectoral implant-based breast reconstruction with implant, with or without any mesh. Contralateral prophylactic mastectomy is allowed in case that a therapeutic mastectomy is performed on the other side. As regards the exclusion criteria, we do not accept male patients and patients undergoing a prepectoral reconstruction with tissue expander or subpectoral reconstruction or breast reconstruction with autologous tissue. Here you can see all the centers that filled in the feasibility questionnaire, which actually are more than 100, and we were very happy of this. However, at the moment, we have 11 centers that are actively recruiting patients, and currently 66 patients have been already recruited. I would like to highlight the fact that the CRFs should be completely completed in time, and we prefer not having a delayed CRF. Furthermore, we also have 12 centers that already received the EC approval, but so they are about to start. We hope that they could start the recruitment or start registering patients that they have already selected. We have 5 centers still waiting for the EC approval, and so we are happy that they could start very soon. Finally, we have all the other interested centers. We do not have news about them in all cases. So please, if you know of, if any one of you is among these centers, please ask us for any questions, for any doubt. If you need any help, you can count on us, and you can absolutely refer to our contacts. You will see them very soon. Finally, regarding the data that you can collect about patients, tumor characteristics, complication data, quality of life and follow-up data, our CRO will explain everything very soon, but please take note of our contacts just in case you need any help. We will be happy to support you.
Okay, thank you very much, Rosa. Now we move on to the next speech about our CRO, Aleph, and they are going to explain how the CRF are working. Maybe Martina, are you there? Am I correct?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay,
yes,
thank you.
I'm here. So, hello to everyone. Let me introduce myself. I'm Martina from Aleph, who manages the I PREPARE study. We have probably already met with some of you through email exchanges. In particular, the CRO is in charge of activating centers and managing communication with the ethics committees and research center, as well as ensuring the proper monitoring of enrolled patient data. We're also in charge of managing the eCRF and the study's dedicated website. So what is a case report form? Is a printed or electronic document designed to record all the protocol required information to be reported to the sponsor on each trial participant. In this case, the CRF is an eCRF because it's faster and more efficient and has a high security levels. All the data will be collected by trained study personnel, not otherwise involved in patient management. Also, data will be prospectively collected and reported in patient CRF. In the right side of the screen, you can see all the sections about the CRF and that you can find on the registration website. So let's start with registration of the patient. This eCRF website is www.i-prepare.cloud. And the site personnel will use their credentials to log in to the website, and we at the CRO will create your credentials and you can log in with your institutional email. The CRO will provide a temporary password for the first login, and later the system will ask each user to customize it. So how to register a patient? It is very simple. You will click on add new patient in the right side of the screen, and you to register the patient, you must fill all these fields, must be completed with the patient's data, and you will check if the inclusion and exclusion criteria are fulfilled. At this point, the registration button will light up and you can register the patient. This is the eCRF front page and menu section. So the baseline data, the surgery, the complications, and the follow-up, and all the subsections you had to fill. If you want to verify all the patients you have enrolled, there is the patient section. If you click on patient, you will see all the patients you have registered so far, as you can see in the screen. Let's start talking about the study-related documents. There are the documents that are to send to your ethics committee and to the CRO, and documents that you have to archive at your study site. The document you have to send to us and to your ethics committee are the communication of the beginning of the study, that reporting the study name, the study acronym, the name of the principal investigator, the name of the study site, the date of the approval from your EC, the planned and enrolled subject, and the date of the first patient enrolled. This document is to be signed And once signed, you send this document to us and to your ethics committee. The documents to archive at your study site are the delegation log, that is a list of appropriately qualified persons to whom the principal investigator has delegated significant trial-related data. You have to store all the CVs of the site staff involved, so the people that are involved in the study, and the certificate of knowledge of the good clinical practice, so this GCP certificate. It's important to note that all the centers are ready to enroll a patient only if you have the ethics committee approval and your hospital authorization. Once you have these two documents, the CRO will provide to you the monitoring visit log, the monitoring visit report of the SIV, and the patient identification register. The centers who already have the approval by the ethics committee and the hospital authorization are potentially ready to start the enrollment. Okay. I'm finished my presentation. So if you have any question, will be possible to talk later.
So I will take over the presentation. You can see my screen. Oh, sorry, there's a question.
Oh, no, sorry, I had my mic off, so I was saying, sorry, that if anybody has some burning questions for Martina, for myself, or for Rosa, just feel free to ask. Otherwise, if there are no burning questions and you can just wait a few minutes, I will leave the floor to Arjan from Brightfish, and he's going to show us the dedicated app for I Prepare. So please, Arjan, thank you.
Thank you. So I will make it short. We are very thankful and proud to have a supportive role by providing our application and to be present here to play a vital role in collecting scientific data. So you see Brightfish and Logix. Brightfish is currently part of Logix, and that's why we have two logos. Who are we? We are present in more than 30 countries. We have software running in more than 30 countries. We have a company in Amsterdam, over 400 plus people, fully certified to deliver quality and security as a service. And the advantages are efficiency. We are trying to reduce workload for health professionals. We integrate with health systems compatible with different EMR systems such as Daedalus or other systems. And we are trying to improve patient retention and satisfaction through innovative tools, and as well as in this application. So the EU Breast app, we launched it in Android and iOS version to collect breast Q-Prom questionnaires. The app is available in more than 8 languages: Italian, German, English, Dutch, Turkish, Romanian, Swedish, and Spanish. And we are using a QR code login for anonymized data collection. Furthermore, we try to make the app intuitive, persistent, and easy to use for patients, not too much information. And also to increase the participation rate for the patients, we enabled push notifications for patients when there is a questionnaire available for the patient. I will dive a little bit into the app itself, so I'll give you a short demo. The key steps in this process is part of the responsibility of the physician and for the patient. On the plate of the physician is to register the patient via our registration page. It's on just a web link. Inform the patients about the study and the participation. There are different fields which are mandatory to be filled out: the study selector, treatment date, patient identifier, and hospital selector. So no personal information about the patient itself. And after registration, it generates a unique QR code for each and every patient. On the plate of the patient is to download the UBreast app from Android or iOS store and open the scanner and scan the QR code handed over by the physician to the patient and log in and fill out the questionnaires. So how does it look like? I made a recording. So this is what the patient sees. It gets a little bit of an onboarding about the patient first, about activities, profile page, and where they can find more information. There's also a privacy statement available in different countries. We draw it together with UBreast. Now the patient scans the QR code and will be logged in. Then it can see the activity timeline with the available questionnaires. They need to give informed consent at first, the information page to see more information about the study, and the profile page about personal details and logout. The informed consent needs to be filled out in order to see the available questionnaires. So they click on yes, and then all the questionnaires will appear on the timeline according to the specification for the study. So this is how the questionnaire will look like, and also available in all different languages, like I already indicated. Like you can see, it's very easy, very intuitive. It's just a few questions. They can be filled out at every moment of time. The post-breast, pre-breast, the EQ 5D, 5L. And this is what the app looks like. So logged out, and also marks the end of the app demo, and also the end of this of my screens. Thanks for the attention.
Well, thank you very much. Let me see whether I can pronounce it correctly. Arjan. How do you say it in Dutch?
Yeah,
because
well done,
somebody's
Arjan.
blaming me that I do not pronounce this correctly.
It's typically Dutch. Arjan. Yeah.
Arjan. Okay.
Or AJ.
All right.
Yeah.
Anybody wants to add something? Otherwise, we can start a little bit of discussion here. Obviously, just feel free to ask questions if you have any. As I was saying before at the beginning of this web meeting, one of our obviously objectives is to hopefully increase the network and increase the number of participating centers. We have some ongoing trials with a large network within UBreast, so we hope to have the same or similar accrual rate as in other projects such as Axana. Also, the Melody trial is going very fast. But I see a question from Khaled, right?
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay.
So
Please
hi
go
everybody. First, I am Khaled Abdulwahab. I'm Assistant Professor of Surgical Oncology from Mansoura Oncology Center, Egypt. I'd like to ask about two questions. The first was about the application that I've seen, because it was new for me. I'm joining both the Melody study and the I PREPARE. And so if this application can be used for me, for example, for enrolling the cases, or it's just for the patient? And the second question is about the authorship policy for the I PREPARE, because it's important for everyone. I'm trying to encouraging people from other centers in Egypt to join the study. But this is one of the first questions. Do you have an authorship policy at the end of the study for the publication, like if they enrolled a certain number of cases, will they be authors or at least a citable collaborative authors? Because I have been asked this question when I try to talk about the study. Last one, it was just a note because I have seen in the first presentation that you listed 12 centers that have got the ethical approval for the I Prepare, but I haven't seen my center. I have the ethical approval maybe 3 months ago, but I don't know why my center, Mansoura Oncology Center, was not listed. If this list was not updated or there is something wrong. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Well, maybe Arjan, you can address the first question.
Sorry, can you repeat it a little bit? Because
yes,
it
was about the use of the application because it's new for me. I used to enroll the patients through the website. But can I use the application now for enrolling the patient? I mean, for me as a doctor enrolling the cases, is it possible?
Yeah, that's completely fine. So we included a list of hospitals, and if your hospital is part of the list, then you can select the hospital you belong to, and then you can just start enrolling the patients via the link. And I don't know who can provide. I think Professor Gentilini can provide the registration link to register patients, and you can just refer to the applications as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. The second issue, maybe Rosa, you want to address the second one?
Sure. If I understand correctly, your center is in Mansoura, isn't it? In Egypt?
Yes.
Okay,
Mansoura,
and you
Egypt,
appeared.
Yes.
You appeared in the actively recruiting center. Maybe you missed the slide. If Angelica can help me.
I'm sorry.
You are there. Absolutely. Thank you for your contribute.
Okay.
And about the publication policy, thank you for bringing up this very important issue. Obviously, all the PIs of the actively participating centers will be comprised in hopefully the publication of the main paper. Everybody will be at least listed in the, let's say, I Prepare study group. And concerning the PIs from the top recruiting centers, obviously these will be listed in the, let's say, front page of the paper. Obviously, if you have for top recruiting centers, we probably will have the room and the possibility to have more than one name listed into the I Prepare study group.
And moreover, I suggest that there will be several papers depending, of course, on the success of the trial.
Sure. Thank you, Philip, to clarify that. And obviously, just let me say that if any of you has some ideas, some proposal, just feel free to share. And obviously, we'll have, I think, enough room to write several papers. And I think that there will be the possibility for each one of us, each one of you, to get proper visibility in papers. So if you have any ideas, just feel free to bring those up and we can discuss and hopefully write additional papers apart from the one concerning the primary endpoint. Any additional questions?
Hello. Hi.
Hi, Michalis.
Hi. A quick question. We started working on this a few months ago, and we got our approval on the 18th of October. We started then working on the translation of the quality of life part, And then we notified that we cannot, as a country, we are not participating in the quality of life sub-protocol of the trial. I just wanted to make sure that this is correct and we're not missing patients. We have already 7 patients recruited. This is the first question. And the second question is, I got my answer already. Would it be possible for further sites to participate in Athens to participate in the trial? And of course, they will ask about the authorship criteria, etc., etc. So basically, I'm asking whether Greece is. Sorry, I'm in the airport.
Please make sure you don't lose your flight.
No, I won't. Sorry, I want to make sure that we are not included in the quality of life part of the trial. That's it.
I don't know. Maybe Martina, you can make sure of that.
Yes. Maybe we omitted that the app is only available for some languages, which is why it was not mentioned with when you start enrollment. So in the case of Greece, the Greece is not available as languages in the app. So you're in this moment you're not included in this part of this study, which is the reason.
Okay. And then Oreste, you're planning of and Rosa, you're planning of recruiting about 1,200 patients. Is that right?
About, excuse me, I didn't.
1,200 patients. About
yes.
100, 200 patients.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The sample size, the estimated sample size is 1,236 patients.
And realistically speaking, can you estimate, because I saw the numbers and the graphs, of course, but realistically, can you estimate a real time frame and a number of participating sites? Would we need 100 participating sites, 20 sites? And how long it will take, you think? I know it's early days yet, but are there any estimation? Is there any estimations about this?
No, we haven't done a clear estimation yet. We, I have to tell you, are optimistic, I would say, because of the ongoing experience that we have, especially concerning Aksana. So we are aware of the fact that the accrual so far has not been good, but it took really too long to get things started. So we decided to start very, very slowly so that everything is okay from the practical perspective. Now I think also that we do not want, again, considering the ongoing experience from Aksana, we do not want too many centers, because first of all, it's obviously a lot of paperwork, and also it's difficult to get all the information properly. So we would prefer a considerable number of participating centers with medium-high volumes so that we can reasonably reach the estimated sample size in a reasonably short period of time. So as Rosa mentioned during the presentation, theoretically, we should complete the accrual by the end of 2025. Probably we won't be able to do that, so we will need to extend the deadline. But if we are able to start and enroll patients in a very, very fast way, at least my idea is that we do not need much more time than that. But still, Michalis, if you have any additional centers in Athens or in Greece, just feel free to get in touch with us.
One or two. Yeah, there
good.
are one or two that want to participate. Yeah. But you know, they will always ask, because it's not they don't get any revenue for this. It's only their wish to participate. So they keep asking, is it worth my time? Even my time, I'm asking, is it worth our time? We don't have the resources to, you know, to dedicate to every trial, which is not paying something. And this is the reason, Rosa, why we have registered 7 patients, but it is so time consuming to find someone and difficult to find someone to put in the data in the CRF form. We'll do it now that we know that it's going on, but I'm trying to explain that, you know, we need and they need, and people who want to participate need to know how they will be rewarded, if I may ask this question.
I perfectly get your point, Michalis, but unfortunately, that's the way it is. With the resources that we have, it's really short, and this is the best we can do. So all the resources that we were able to collect were dedicated to the app, to the CRO, and we are about to be short of money, so I'm sorry about that, but we cannot give any documentation fee. So we rely on on us being good friends with a very good team around the world, and hopefully we can do our best. Maybe there are some.
I'm sure it will go fine. I just I wanted to know that the trial is up and running now.
The trial is open. Just one additional clarification before I ask MJ to please intervene. As Rosa mentioned, one thing is the primary endpoint, so everybody is absolutely free to enter patients just for the primary endpoints, and we know that we just have a few languages for the app. But if your language is not listed in this short number of languages, don't worry, just enter patients for the primary endpoint. And if we have additional resources, we will talk to our friends in the Netherlands to hopefully add the missing languages. MJ, please. You're mute. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not. One was, so 2 questions. One was related to that. So regarding so what Artian said regarding the app is as all the questionnaires are already translated in all the languages, because Portuguese is one of the languages you don't have, and you only need the connection text for entering the data, because you have all the structured questionnaires in REDCap version, so you can use it in the app. Why it's so difficult to have other languages? Because it takes us, one of the interests of the trial is quality of life. So so this is a question. So are you considering of adding other languages if you get some help?
Yes, we will, MJ. Yes, we will. Obviously,
yeah, okay.
That's the way it was, but obviously we are more than happy to add additional languages. First of all, Portuguese, but then other languages. Obviously, this requires some time. But
I was talking in general. Talking in general. The other thing is, and we can help if you need to translate the interface for the text to other questionnaires that are already validated in the languages, we can help. So you don't need to hire other resources. It's quite easy. We have lots of experience in translating, so we can do it. Okay.
Thank you very much, MJ.
Another thing that you have there is that I saw when I think Martina was presenting was about monitoring. That is also very important. So I saw the mention. I didn't understood how you plan to monitor the trial, or are you planning to monitor only the register part of the CRFs? How is it monitoring written there in your presentation?
We can monitoring the study site even remotely. So we at the moment of the monitoring visit, we will monitoring yes, the CRF data, and also the ECF, so the informed consent of the patient. So we will check if the informed consent are signed. So if you simply show in the screen and on the webcam only the sign of the patient.
Okay. Just to understand if you were delegating the monitoring to other countries or not, or you are doing everything electronically. So informed consent is still on paper, yes? You don't have electronic informed consent?
No,
it's still on paper.
It's paper.
Okay.
ECRF is online, so it's easier for us to monitoring the data on the CRF.
Okay.
And
that was the thing.
And sorry to interrupt. I'm Silvia, the colleague of Martina. And I just would like to add something about the monitoring activities. And we'll also check the delegation log and all the CV essential document of study staff that are archived correctly in the ECF in order to know that all the person working on the trial are really delegated to do these duties.
Oh,
thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you. I see the two hands raised. The first one I think is Atea. Is that right?
Yes. Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I have several questions. I wanted to know if, for example, a patient that has a mutation in BRCA decides to have a prophylactic mastectomy in a second period of time after, let's say, a mastectomy for tumor. Should we recruit that patient, or it's out of the eligibility criteria?
Is out of the eligibility criteria. So
Okay.
it's allowed only if it's at the same time. So if you perform a therapeutic mastectomy and you plan to do, for whatever reason, a contralateral mastectomy, then you can do it. If you do the prophylactic procedure at the second time, then you cannot enter the patient.
Okay. The second question is, the patients are, for the patient, it's mandatory to download the app or of the questionnaire, of the quality of life questionnaire?
No, it's not.
No.
As we said before, you can just enter the patient for the primary endpoint. If for whatever reason either the patient refuses to download the app, she doesn't want to use it, or it's for whatever reason you cannot do it, you can register the patient and then enter the patient for the primary endpoint.
Okay, and I wanted to have some clarification about the data that we are collecting, for example, about the patient characteristic, let's say the ptosis grade, the thickness of the subcutaneous tissue, or radiotherapy that was performed, let's say, in another intervention. Do we collect this data, or we have only, let's say, BMI or whatever characteristic of the patient?
Maybe Rosa, you can go ahead.
Okay, the data are all foreseen in the CRF, but of course I admit that this is an observational study. So if it's not your standard practice to have all this data and you do not want to add skin flap thickness, for instance, if you don't appreciate it, so if you don't assess it, sorry, you can avoid it.
No, normally we assess it. It's just I wanted to know if we are collecting this kind of data.
We are doing that.
Okay.
We are doing that, but if it's not mandatory, of course, you can also leave empty spaces, isn't it, Martina?
Yes, I'm checking on the CRF in PDF, and there are several informations and data to collect. So, as stated before, some of these are not mandatory. So we are checking even on the CRF online if there is problem on go on if you don't compile any single section. We are checking later.
Okay, and another small questions about the description of the surgical procedure. It's defined the type of incision that we make, or the use of mesh or whatever device.
Yes, sure. You can take a look at the CRF so that you can see all the details that you're supposed to fill in. Obviously, the more thorough we are in filling up the CRF, the more available data we'll have. So our plea is to please try to fill in the CRF at our maximum, even though some of this data could not be filled in.
Okay, okay, that's it. I just wanted to say thank you to everybody, and that we are finalizing our documents as a center to send to the EPIC committees, as we spoke with Martina earlier.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your
later
question and your interest.
Yeah, I will send you the ECRF by email later.
Yeah, thank you.
Then I cannot see whether there are other hands raised. Maybe I saw Matteo Gilli before, but
yes. Ciao, Oreste. Thank you for the opportunity. I put down my hand because, to be honest, you have already answered, but I want to be sure. So my question is, if I understood well, is it possible to participate to the study, to the trial, also in case we are not ready with the app? Because our problem in Pisa, as Martina knows very well, is a problem. I don't know if it's only a problem in Pisa. It's quite strange. But we have a problem with the privacy policy. The responsible for the privacy asked a lot of details. We are trying to convince him with the answer of Martina, but it's not so simple. So if it will be not possible to start soon with the app, can we start with the primary endpoint without the quality of life? I understood well, Oreste?
Yes, sure. Obviously, as MJ pointed out, this is one of the most interesting
absolutely
characteristics of the study. So the fact that we are looking at quality of life, the fact that we are collecting data in a, let's say, modern way. But that said, this is not the primary endpoint of the trial. So if for whatever reason you cannot collect data concerning secondary outcomes, and meaning using the ECR, the app, you can still collect data and register patients just for the primary endpoint.
Okay, thank you.
So we know that in the end, if let's say we will be able to collect 1,200 patients, we will not have data concerning quality of life for all the patients. Probably it will be just a minority of those, but still it will be data collected prospectively in what I hope to be a considerable number of patients.
Sure, but I would ask to Martina if the problem of the privacy with the app is only a peasant problem or also a problem for other center.
Other centers told me several questions about this app, but only Pisa is not available to try to reach a common way to resolve this problem. So we are trying to do our best to go on. Even on these days, I'm talking with the DPO, and I'm positive about this. So if the DPO is not, the DPO is not accepting all these the solutions that we have, that we give it to him. We can try to go on without the use of the app. We can try.
Martina, if I may add, I asked the Brightfish to share with us the technical information regarding the app update, so to have the privacy concern to be solved in an easier way. So I share with you that I know that you're sharing with the DPO this document. So I'm positive that this document can help
I think that the document will be the solution. I hope so. I'm confident that with the document we can start, and we will ready to enroll many patients in Pisa.
Thank you very much, Matteo. We are running out of time. Maybe MJ, you still have your hand raised.
Just telling something to Matteo. Hi, Matteo. Just telling you something.
Hi.
When the patient fills in the questionnaire by themselves, they are giving their own data to something they have given the informed consent. So this is one of the main points of rebuttal to your ethics committee. So it's the patient that is filling in the questions within the app. So it's like a patient that gives you a photograph is the patient that is uploading their own data in the app. So this is completely different when you're playing with patients' data around and writing patient and exchanging data. So to be honest, it's more complicated, the fact that we are using an eCRF than the fact that the patient is filling an application, okay? Because this is the will of the patient, okay?
Okay, thank you, MJ. You are very skilled with this topic with your trial Cinderella. So thank you so much for thank you so much for the suggestion.
Yeah, but it's like this.
Well, okay, thank you very much. It's now 7 p.m.
Sorry, Prof. If I had something, just just a phrase. I take the opportunity to tell all the centers, if you have other patients screened, I remind you to register all the patients you have already enrolled on the CRF online to get a more accurate view of the recruitment process on the list.
Thank you very much, Martina. Thank you for
just another small thing, Professor Gentilini. I want to invite each center to update its own status with our CRO so that we can know in any moment if anybody has EC approval, is going to start or not, just avoiding any misunderstanding. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you very much once again to each one of you. We had something like 70 people connected. Just a closing remark. I think that we have a really unique opportunity here because, you know, pre-pectoral reconstruction is, let's say, new, even though it's not brand new. And we have the opportunity with this study to collect prospective, real life data about what's going on all around the world. So that's the reason why we decided to do this, because we have a unique opportunity to collect prospective data about this very, very popular reconstructive technique. So once again, thank you very much. We will perform another meeting probably in 1 month. So we know that there are additional sites which want to join. We wait for our friends from Germany. I've seen Torsten, I've seen Toralf connected, I've seen other people. So we need to get things going so that we have the same or similar recruitment to what's been achieved in other prospective trials, such as Axana, such as Melody. So hopefully we will be able to collect a substantial number of patients. Thank you very much for joining us up to 7 p.m. Good aperitivo to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good evening.
Have a nice
Thank
evening.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Evening. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.